wanted some help with exercise 277. Yeah. So let's see what that was. So that was says the string class defines a length accessor method with the following header. As the comment returns the number of characters in this string, and the method signature is public int length. So it returns an int and it requires no parameters, and it's public, so you can call it on a string object. So if we have a string variable full name, we can say fullname.length, and it will return the length of that string. It says add conditional statements to the constructor of student. So the first thing I noticed, if we're going to go any further, is the constructor of student is the constructor. Generally, it looks like a method, but it always has the same name as the class, and it doesn't return. So a regular method has either a void or string or returns something. Constructors don't have that. So this is the constructor for student. Okay. So so the first thing I'm going to do is put this get login name, I think, back the way it was. Let me see. I think it was something like return get name part plus get ID part. Okay, and this testing stuff, this checking on the length of the string, that wants to happen. I'm going to cut this out. That wants to happen up in the constructor. So the constructor is this guy. So I'll just stick this down here for a second. Okay. So all right, so we want to add conditional statements to print an error message if either the length of the full name parameter is less than 4 characters or the length of the student ID parameter is less than 3 characters. However, the constructor should still use those parameters to set the name and ID fields even if the error message is printed. Hint: use if statements of the following form, that is, having no else part to print the error messages. If performs a test on one of the parameters, print the error. Okay, so we're going to check both. We're going to have 2 if statements. Good, I see you have 2 if statements. So one is checking the length of the full name, right? So if the length of the full name is less than 4. Now here it's showing you right here how you use length with the full name variable. So it's full name dot length. Okay. In general, when you want to call a method on an object, you put the object name and a dot and then the method name. So that's what we need to do for full name. So we need to say if full name dot length is, what's the test, is less than 4 characters. So that is like this. If the full name is less than 4, if the full name, yeah, then okay, then we want to print an error out. Right. So and we might print out 2 errors, right? If there's 2, if the full name length is less than 4 and the student ID name length is less than 3. So here we would say if the full name, if the full name is too short, we could say the full name is too short. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what this is meant. Maybe this is, you were thinking ahead to exercise 2.78, but I'm going to take this out for now. We're not substringing here. This is just, we're just printing out errors. And then if student ID, so see, this is how you distinguish the length of the full name or the length of the student ID. So I'll say copy and paste down here. If that's strictly less than 3, then we're going to say that that's too short. Okay, but we're not returning anything, and especially in you don't put return statements in a constructor here. So is that all we needed to do? I think so. Yeah. And what we'll do, I think I'm going to move these things to the end. Because it's not going to make much difference in this exercise, but I think in the next one it will. So I'm going to hit compile, and that compiles. Oh, did we not? Oh, you know what? I'm looking at. Yeah. Get name. And get student ID. That's what I was thinking of here. Now here, oh, I see. We're making a length method of your own. Okay. Yeah. You still have that same problem of length needs to be called on a method. And here you're basically trying, this length is going to refer to this, so you're going to be calling yourself over and over and over again. So this would just never stop. So you would just be hanging. So I'm just going to cut this out. We're not going to need that. The reason you have an error is because there's no return statement. So you could say return name, and then it would compile. But like I said, if you'll say int name equals length, and then the compiler is going to say, how do I do length? Oh, I do this. I say int name equals length. Oh, how do I do length? Oh, I do this. And so it's like wash, rinse, and repeat. If you keep repeating and repeating and repeating, you're just never going to stop there. Okay, so I'm going to cut that out. And let's compile now. Okay, so now we can compile, and that should do what you're looking for. So how do we check that? Oh yeah, so we can test that out by creating a new student, right? So let's try. Let's say if we create a new student and I put in TJ for my student name, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So the student ID should be long enough because that's more than 3, but my name isn't long enough, so I should get an error message here. It says, oh, the full name is too short. So that's good. That's what we wanted. Let me clear this, and I'll just, I'm going to stop the video now. I'll let you, because you're going to need to test this anyway when you type it in on your system, but you'll want to test this on a few more examples. Make sure that it's giving you the right error messages when you're done. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you still have questions, shoot me another email.